An important aspect of building an effective science talk is to include the right amount of content and to build slides that aid rather than distract from your delivery of that content. It is recommended that you do not spend more than 1 minute on any particular slide. Talking for more than a minute before changing the slide can bore the audience. Avoid sounds and distracting animations like this one, but some animations like having the bullet points appear one at a time can be useful. Using animations to decrease the contrast of the bullet points that you have already discussed can also help to keep the audience focused. You want to keep the number of bullet points to 6 or less, or between 3 to 6. If you have too many bullet points, people will have a difficult time remembering what you've said. Make sure that you use a consistent color palette and consistent fonts throughout the presentation. That doesn't mean that you have to use the same font for your titles and text, but these should be used consistently, and you should avoid using too many different font types. With regards to the font that you use, selecting the correct size and type is important for creating slides that are clear and visually appealing. When it comes to size, a general rule is to avoid using font that is smaller than 18 point. But for some venues and screens, even 18 point can be too small. In general, text between 24 and 28 point works well for most venues. You can use a larger size between 36 and 44 point for titles, but some experts feel that a title should not be the largest object on a slide because it is rarely the most important. You also want to make sure that you avoid using all caps because, in addition to being difficult to read, it can be perceived as shouting. Finally, the font that you use for your references at the bottom of your slides should be kept small to avoid distracting from the content of the slide. So what about font type? Most experts agree that serif fonts, which have small lines attached to the end of each stroke, work best for printed text, while sans serif fonts, which lack these lines, make text that is displayed in a large screen easier to read. Here's a list of the most common sans serif fonts. Although the current default in PowerPoint is Calibri, many people prefer to use other classic sans serif fonts like Arial or Verdana because these are very easy to read. Google also offers a wide range of fonts for free. The most popular one is Roboto. You can download fonts from Google and install them on your computer, or you can use them on Google Slides. However, be very careful when you do this that you save your slides with embedded fonts or as a PDF file, because if you select a font that is not standard, it will likely not be available on the computer that you're using for your presentation, and this can ruin the formatting on of your slides and cause a lot of stress at the last minute. Also select font types that are professional, so avoid fonts like Comic Sans. And most importantly, make sure that whatever font you decide on is clear and easy to read. There are fonts that you should clearly avoid, like the ones shown here, but even some sans serif fonts can be difficult to read, so choose well and keep it simple. Another aspect of the style of your presentation is the background of your slides. Traditionally, white backgrounds and black text have been used by most presenters, and these work well for small rooms and for teaching. However, some experts feel that a dark background with light letters can also work well, particularly in large rooms, because it puts the focus on the speaker rather than on the slides. A last point that bears reminder is that you need to spell check or proofread your work. Having typos and grammatical errors in your presentation will make you seem unprofessional and affect your credibility in front of the audience. Notice that I highlighted the errors in this sentence, and some of these, like using the noun effect instead of the verb affect, will not be detected by software. So if grammar is not your forte, ask for help. It's very likely that others will be able to detect the errors that you missed.